Unfortunately, Draft League is dead. Or is it? There was recent news that surfaced that the 60-minute timer is back for Wi-Fi. Because of that, BBR decided to do a very quick turnaround for Season 5, and I'm here. We gained the interest of some really cool old Draft League players such as Nexus, AIM, and Envy, and they are here in this season, and I am so excited to be bringing this season to you guys. Look at that. It's my shirt. I don't know if you can see it. This shirt doesn't fit me anymore because it's 4 years old, but look, you can probably buy this. If you can, I'll leave a link up here. I don't know. They might not be for sale anymore. If you guys want me to resell them, let me know down below. But I am super excited to bring you guys this draft analysis, which hopefully is the revitalization of Draft League as we know it. As far as the draft goes, it's pretty standard draft rules. We did 120 points, 9 Pokemon total, and we decided to do one pool of 12 coaches. One of the worst decisions we've ever done. This is way too many coaches for one pool in pre-home. With that being said, go ahead and check out everybody's channel down below. Like I said, we have some fantastic coaches this time. We have Nexus, AIM, Envy, John Jr. That guy's really handsome. And then we of course have some old coaches from last season like OG Albina, Grandmaster D-Ray, and Kirby. I got a trash pick. I always get a bad pick, and this draft is no different. I ended up getting the 7th overall pick, which is just about as bad as you could ask for in pre-home 12-man. The best that I was hoping to get here was like Alafin, Iron Bundle, or Roaring Moon. But to my surprise, with the 7th overall pick, CHIEN-PAO was still there. I think CHIEN-PAO is arguably the second best Pokemon in the format, but I haven't been able to use it yet. And actually, this is the Pokemon that I would have taken if I had the 1st overall pick. CHIEN-PAO gives us an elite speed tier right off the bat in 135, and immediately gives us a breaker that teams are forced to draft certain Pokemon to not immediately lose to. With its new ability, Sword of Ruin, paired with 120 base attack, there is not many Pokemon that can switch into this. Not only that, but CHIEN-PAO is going to be our Terra captain, and the way Terra works, we pay 20% extra for the Pokemon, making CHIEN-PAO 22 points total, but get 1 stab type and 1 non-stab type to Terra into. For CHIEN-PAO, I chose both Terra Dark and Terra Electric. Terra Electric allows us to hit things like Azumarill and Corviknight that we would not be able to hit otherwise. CHIEN-PAO is of course amazing and just about the best first pick I could ask for. And realistically, there are very few ways to go wrong building a team around this Pokemon. That being said, I'm going to show you how to incorrectly build a team around this Pokemon. With our next pick, there were not many Pokemon that I would consider a great second option for CHIEN-PAO. The Pokemon that I initially took here was Iron Treads, but I ended up trading it. I thought Iron Treads offered a lot to CHIEN-PAO at Walled Fairies. It got us momentum, rocks, as well as removal. But Poke-Aim offered me Gholdengo, and I thought about it for a long time, and I ultimately decided to take it. Gholdengo is a Pokemon that I have been itching to try since the beginning of the generation. Gholdengo is a fantastic fairy killer with 133 special attack. It has a pretty decent speed stat of 86, and of course it is the premier hazard blocker, blocking both Rapid Spin and Defog. This Pokemon is going to be a fantastic glue piece next to CHIEN-PAO. And I liked it over Iron Treads because I felt like Iron Treads was a bit overpriced at 16, whereas I felt Gholdengo was actually underpriced at 14. I really don't think Gholdengo is a Pokemon that should be a second option on a draft. Gholdengo is primarily here because CHIEN-PAO cannot deal with fairies, and honestly, this is a pretty good start to a 12-man one-pool draft. 12-man one-pool drafts in Paldea pre-home decks really makes you have to think ahead as to what you're going to get. This is because there are very few Pokemon that can fill the roles that you really need to fill, and that's kind of what I had to do for this 3rd overall pick. I was kind of reaching for a Pokemon that probably isn't a 3rd overall pick, and that's going to be Glimmora. Glimmora is one of my favorite new Pokemon this generation. It is the embodiment of Hazard Stack. Not only that, but I think obviously it works really well on my team. CHIEN-PAO really appreciates the extra hazard chip that Glimmora can provide because it can miss out on some crucial 2-hit KOs if it's not choiced. At the same time, Gholdengo beside Glimmora is very scary because as long as Gholdengo is alive, once those hazards are up, they're up for the game. Glimmora also helps break fairies for CHIEN-PAO and has a form of removal in Mortal Spin. The main reason I decided to take Glimmora was actually because Joey offered me Gholdengo. I think there were definitely better Pokemon I could have taken instead of Glimmora, but I think I valued Glimmora more than I valued any other Pokemon that was still left. Coming out of the first 3 rounds, I actually really liked our team and was pretty confident with what we had so far. We didn't really have the best top tier threats, but we did have really good glue pieces and a team that synergized really well. We also had a lot of points to make our team better moving forward and have more of a balanced team versus a top heavy team. Coming into our 4th pick, I gotta level with you guys, I am not excited to use this Pokemon at all. I really only took it because it was a spinner and there are not that many spinners left, and that Pokemon's gonna be Quaq. quaquaquaqua. We took Duck. I don't necessarily dislike Duck, but I don't love it on this type of team. I grabbed it solely because it is a spinner in a format where you have to highly value spinners, especially because I have it beside Glimmora. Overall, Quaq isn't my favorite Pokemon. It's not super bulky and it is pretty scary offensively, but it gets beaten by a lot of the same things that CHIEN-PAO does. While they can be nice because they can chip things down for each other, I would have preferred something to break the bulky waters that I currently struggle with, not something that gets walled by them. I also am a little down on this pick because I now have 3 Pokemon that are basically base 85 speed, and I'm the type of person that very much dislikes having similar speeds. It makes it a lot easier to prep for you. However, I'm hoping Quaq literally will do the one thing that I picked him for and Rapid Spin for me. That would be fantastic. Continuing the trend of valuing spinners, our next pick is going to be another spinner. It was originally going to be Donphan, but that unfortunately got taken from me. So I took a Pokemon that I think point-wise is pretty undervalued in this draft, and that is going to be Cyclizar. Cyclizar was only 8 points, and for what it offers, I think the Pokemon is worth much more than that, even without Shed Tail. It has another elite speed tier in 121, great utility in things like knockoff and U-turn, and it can run physical or special. Not only that, but it also has fantastic coverage on top of being another spinner that we heavily value. I think personally Cyclizar is worth around 11 points pre-home, so I will gladly take it for 8 points. While I do think I took him probably a little bit early, I also didn't want Quaq to be my only remover, which it was definitely on track to be. After the first 5 rounds, things were looking up. I had a really solid foundation, and really things could only go up from here, is what I thought. Until I realized how few Pokemon there are to fill certain roles in this dex. I don't know if you guys have looked at pre-home Paldea decks. There are quite literally like 11 usable fairies and there are 12 teams. Somebody's not gonna have a fairy. From this point forward, I got sniped pretty much every round at least of 1 Pokemon. And at this point in the draft, if you get sniped, sometimes it's a little bit too late to fix it based on what is left. I'm gonna be honest, we gave way too many points with the number of Pokemon that are in this dex, so almost all of the top tier things were gone at this point. However, something that came to me round 6 that I was shocked came back to me is gonna be last year's defensive Pokemon of the year, Slowbro. Slowbro was a Pokemon I was always eyeing due to how poorly we switch into waters. I really didn't want the stupid Duck to be my bulky water, so Slowbro is pretty reliable. It got nerfed, it lost Teleport and Scald, but I really shouldn't be getting it in round 6 either way. It pairs really well with my team thus far, resisting fighting that I am very weak to up to this point, and creating a nice regenerated core with Cyclizar. There weren't many other great bulky waters either, like Dondozo already went, so I will gladly take Slowbro. Round 7 is where we really started grasping for straws. There were not that many Pokemon left for specifically the roles that I needed. For instance, a lot of ways to break waters up to this point were gone, so I went ahead and grabbed one of the only things left that could do that, and that's going to be Wo-Chien. Don't get me wrong, Wo-Chien is awesome. It just definitely was not my first choice paired with CHIEN-PAO, but Wo-Chien is here. This Pokemon is so fat paired with its ability. The only big downsides to this Pokemon are going to be its typing and its lack of recovery. Otherwise, I'm really excited to have this as a way to somehow break waters as well as just having it on a real timer. Wo-Chien also gives us a way to take more water hits. Like if you look at our current team, if we ever face Walking Wake, we lose without Wo-Chien. So we threw Wo-Chien on to maybe have a chance to beat Walking Wake. I don't know, Wo-Chien still doesn't really beat it, but at least it could sponge a hit. At this point in the draft, I'm not even going to lie to you guys, there were 4 fairies left. Maybe 4 fairies. There were only 2 fully evolved fairies from what I can see on the dock, and it was Wigglytuff and Dachshund. So we went ahead and grabbed Dachshund. Dachshund actually isn't even that bad of a Pokemon, and I've used it before and really enjoyed it. And I think it probably should have been valued higher than 4 points just due to the lack of fairies. Either way, it's just not very good. It provides Wish, but with a base 57 HP, it really doesn't heal that much. It does give us a fire immunity, which is awesome, as well as now a dragon immunity, but it is really only here because if we didn't get it, our fairy would quite literally have been Tinkaton. I'm not kidding, we would have gotten Tinkaton this round. That is how down bad for fairies this generation is. It also gives us a base 95 speed tier, which that was definitely a speed tier that we needed to fill out. This is where I get a headache looking back at this draft at this point. There were a handful of Pokemon above 10 points at this point. Probably 10 Pokemon above 10 points at this point, right? And I literally had 27 points left for 3 Pokemon. 27. My original plan was to go Palmot to help break waters. I think he's so ugly and so bad, but he was there, so I was gonna grab him and then get Hippowdon as my ground for literally no other reason than the fact that he was still there. But instead, my good friend Kurt decided to snipe me of both of these Pokemon. Both of them, straight back to back. So for this pick, I got Kilowattrel. I'm actually not all that upset about having to use budget Zapdos, but what it provides, we didn't necessarily need on this team. It has an amazing speed tier at 125, which it already had covered in Cyclizar being 121, but it does provide us with more momentum as well as a way to actually break waters. Sorry, Chien. I'm not saying this Pokemon is going to be the absolute glue piece for the team, but there were definitely worse options than this electric type Swallow. Okay, hot take. Sandaconda, better than Mudsdale. Go ahead, roast me for that down below. Never met a single human being that agrees with me. And I don't dislike Mudsdale. I think he's cool. I just think he's no Sandaconda. It might just be because I think Sandaconda is a pretty cool guy, but what can I say? Hippowdon replacement Sandaconda. Sandaconda provides us a second rocker on top of Glimmora, which I actually didn't realize that we only had 2 rockers until I was writing this script. It provides us with Glare for matchups that we don't bring Glimmora and we don't have T-Spike set. And he's a really cool guy, and I promise you he tries his best. Please be nice to him. Please leave a comment telling him how handsome he is, in fact. I can't even read my script without laughing. Hold on. Lastly, this mod is some donkey dick, but we got sniped literally like 6 times. So we picked Salazzle. Everybody clap for Salazzle! I refuse to talk about this stupid, ugly Pokemon, but here's the slide for a few seconds so you can look at its stats. I crack myself up, man. I'm funny. And that's the team. This is by far, without a doubt, no question in my mind, the worst team I have ever drafted. No contest. Considering how few Pokemon there were, it definitely could have been worse, but I think this is definitely a bottom 3 team in BBR. I think we're solely going to get wins because I'm good at the game, not because this team is good. This team is horrible, but it does fill most of the roles that I do need. It's just everything's super fast, or 85 speed tier, or super slow. And there's just not good Pokemon on this team, really. We have no real secondary option. Goldingo, I guess, but other than that, not really. So welcome to CHIEN-PAO's Daycare. That is the name of this team. Thank you for watching my descent into madness as I actually picked Salazzle. We played Mephisto week 1. His channel should be in the top right hand corner right now. He's a pretty cool guy and super funny. Again, really excited for this season, but the end of this video is quite literally just brain rot. So I'm gonna end it here. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to sub if you enjoyed and turn on the bell for notifications every time I upload a BBR video. And for now, guys, this has been John Jr. signing off.